Hi, my name is Krista Michelli. I'm the CMO here at LumaForge, and today we're going to be talking about the creative process of creating video content. The first thing I want to say is, even if you're a CMO or you've been leading a marketing team for the last decade or 2 decades or 3 decades, it might be helpful to kind of take that Starbucks model and require yourself to go all the way to the barista level to really get your hands dirty as you're creating video content with your team. And just allow yourself a little bit of a learning curve, maybe a 2-week deep dive where you get to see your team in action, you get to see all the things that are required, because none of this is gonna make sense or be helpful if you're not gonna invest in video from the top down. So I'm gonna walk through 4 different steps to be aware of as you lead creative teams into this medium so that everyone feels like you're in full agreement and understanding of what you're requiring of them. The first thing is just to identify what the purpose of the video is. And I know this sounds so rudimentary, but this should be common practice anyway for you by this point, and it should be no different with this medium. The first thing to do would be get everyone in the room who works within your organization that would benefit from this piece. So for instance, I really like it when we can get the sales team and the support team in the same room with our marketing team to talk through all the potential pitfalls of the language that we're using, the experience that we're promising on a video, because sometimes even when we're talking about our product, we may be saying something that we are idealizing about the product that we actually don't support or don't deliver. And that could just be a fluke. It could be something that we just haven't double checked, but putting the rest of our team members in a compromising position and really overpromising something that we can't deliver on with clients who we really love is the opposite effect that we're trying to have when we use video content. So in order to keep ourselves honest and in order to create pieces that have a shelf life, we want everyone in the same room. We want to know exactly what the objectives are supposed to be and how we're really enhancing the overall communication experience with this particular piece. The second piece of the creative process is to have a plan. A lot of times for me, what this means is just to have a script, even if it's just bullet points. I think what's really helpful there is it cuts down on your editing time because you're not rambling and your editor doesn't have to sit there for hours on end trying to figure out what you were really trying to say. But it also gives your entire team a good perspective on the different supplemental assets they might need to create to make the video a complete, comprehensive piece that can be used across multiple platforms. This is super helpful for me. It just keeps my team organized, and it gives everybody kind of a leg up to really start thinking creatively about the graphic assets and setting the stage for the video so that it matches the tone that we're trying to achieve with this particular piece. The third part of the creative process is production. With production, there are so many things to consider. Much like every other medium, you've got to have tools in order to take an idea from conception to completion. And with video, that can get pretty pricey and pretty complex quickly. So what's super helpful, again, in that script phase that we just talked about, is to get clear about what tools your team actually needs to get this thing over the finish line. This scope goes from iPhone footage or even, the camera on your laptop all the way to, Red cameras with Panavision lenses. I mean, it can get really crazy. This is why it's super important to do your due diligence in those first 2 steps of the creative process so that you're, again, not setting your team up to fail when it comes time to actually produce the project. The fourth piece of the creative process is post-production. Post-production is where we see a lot of things start to crumble if communication didn't happen right from the beginning. I know there's this idea that editors will just get what we give them and they'll make magic. I think that's such a horrible position to be putting our creative team in, because right from the start, they can help reset expectations if maybe you've overlooked a part of the process that you probably were just not familiar with. Something that I'm always blown away by every time is the sheer amount of time it takes to do editing, color correcting, audio cleanup, adding graphics, doing thumbnails for YouTube, recreating some of these pieces to fit the requirements for like a LinkedIn ad. It's crazy. And if I don't consider some of that stuff, I'm then running my team through this insane process and burning them out unnecessarily, just because I wasn't aware that they were having to do every single step in order to come up with a finished product that I kind of take for granted. I hope this just gives you another opportunity to reach out to your team members and connect with them in a way that's really personal and acknowledges the work that they're doing.
Thank you for watching. Please like this video,